Game of the night. Eagles, Vikings, showdown between two good teams in the NFC. And Jeff, what is this?
Listen, like he said, Santa is back. Santa is back. You cannot be giving gifts like that, Kirk Cousins. Good play, but can't have it.
And then now we're 3rd and goal, and it's Cousins. Darius Slay was like his favorite target last night.
Yeah, I don't know if he owed him money or something, but he's trying to pay off his debts by throwing him pigskins, and Darius Slay gonna catch them all.
He threw 3 picks, Cousins did last night. The Eagles dominate on both sides of the ball. What a statement that was, and primarily from the quarterback. 300 passing yards and multiple rushing touchdowns. Only Michael Vick had ever done that before in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles. So, I have my quarterback sitting next to me here in RG3. It feels like there were a lot of questions coming into the season about Jalen Hurts, maybe even inside the organization. Is 2 games too quickly to say he has answered them?
No, it's not too quickly. And Jalen Hurts has played himself into the way too early NFL MVP conversation. He almost had 400 yards of total offense. The guy was straight balling, and all that work he put in the offseason is really paying dividends. But I think what people have to pay attention to is the fact that this guy is 7th in the league in passing and 10th in rushing. And a lot of that has to do with that offensive line. He has the best offensive line in all of football.
Preach now.
And now he has a true #1 wide receiver. And we've seen the impact that Stephon Diggs has had on Josh Allen. And now you're seeing the impact that A.J. Brown has on Jalen Hurts, opening up the entire field for him. It's just fun to watch. This team is a Super Bowl favorite.
There's Jerry Krause, who built the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls championship teams, once said, players don't win championships, organizations do. And while he was much maligned for that quote, I sort of understood what he meant. This is an organizational success in Philly, isn't it?
They bring in a coaching staff that is willing to work with Jalen Hurts, right? They're not going to try and say, you know, we want a certain type of player. The best coaches are the ones that say, here's what I have, here's how I'm going to try and win with it. So Jalen Hurts has a lot going for him, but he also had a lot to work on 2 off seasons ago and last off season. But the beautiful thing about it is the Eagles sit there and say, hey, great work this year. Here's what we want you to work on in the offseason. This guy goes and does it. And he really does it. You know, he works in the offseason. He works at training camp. He's better at the things he wasn't good at last year, right? And that sounds simple, but development is such an overlooked thing when we talk about the NFL. People think a guy comes in the league and that's who he is. This is the example of what you want from a guy you draft in the 2nd round because you think he can be special. Right now, it looks like he's got what he needs inside of him to get there.
He looks good. The offensive line, to give you, let you toot the horn a little bit, is maybe the best in the entire NFL. The defense looks really good. Are the Philadelphia Eagles the best team in the NFC?
They are the best team in the NFC. And listen, when you talk about A.J. Brown and what he's brought to this offense, the ability to go over the middle and open this offense. Listen, the hardest throws for quarterbacks to make are outside the numbers. So where's easy money? It's inside. So you go get a guy who's going to be your #1 and isn't scared to go across with that first catch that we saw in the highlights. It's a 3rd and 11. He's going up and getting it. I mean, those type of things are plays that give quarterbacks confidence, and he can continue to build on those things. Couple that with a run game that just throws out a $189 on the ground like it's no big deal. And I understand Hurts is part of that running game, so it is a little bit different than everybody else. But man, every part of this offense is rolling, and it's all being conducted by Jalen Hurts. He has command of that offense unlike he's ever had in his career. It's a thing of beauty.
You buying all this, Nick? Are you all in on the Eagles? You're the one who told me actually they were going to the Super Bowl before anyone was saying.
Yeah, I mean, they were talented enough, and I think I was a little bit nervous about saying it because of where Jalen Hurts was, but I'm not nervous anymore. He made the hard stuff look easy. He sat in that pocket against a defense that shut down Aaron Rodgers a week ago, and he did the things that he couldn't do last year. He sat in the pocket, which he was terrible passing the pocket. He was also terrible against zone defenses last year, and that's all he saw was cover 4, cover 6, cover 2. He saw all these zones all night, and he hit him in the middle, he hit him on the outside, he hit him over the top. He did everything you could do, and it looked like they were playing against a lower level of competition. He made it look so easy, and this is against a team that we thought was a real deal, or at least I thought was a real deal NFC contender.
You had them ranked 3rd last year.
Yeah, they were up there high.
Last week.
Now you got them real low.
Bring back your stuff.
We're not the NFC. We'll see. We will do Dominique's power rankings a little bit later. Last week he had Minnesota at #3. I have a suspicion they won't be there. They looked a little more like #2 last night.
Oh my God. That's good.
I see what you did there.
Every now and again. But anyway, here's what I want to hear from you, RG3. Very specifically, through the eyes of a quarterback, what is he doing so much better? Because it's easy for me and all of the football fans to see, well, look how well he runs, and obviously he had it going last night. But very specifically, what is he doing better than he did last year? Hurts.
Yeah, well, I think he went in the offseason and he worked on his mechanics. First of all, getting the ball out has a lot to do with how fast you can get the ball out. He's improved that. He's getting the ball out faster from that standpoint. And then secondly, I just look back to A.J. Brown. It's trust. When as a quarterback, when you have a wide receiver that you know, this guy's going to make me right. He has that now in A.J. Brown. And then what did they do? They got Davante Smith more involved in this game plan. So he has weapons at the tight end position, at the running back position, and outside at wideout. But for Jalen Hurts himself, he has confidence now. He has trust in the guys around him. And I just think that Dominique said it so much better in the first in the first hour of the show.
Yeah.
He's eating up zone coverage.
Yeah.
And if you play man coverage against this guy, he is going to run the ball, and he's going to make you pay.
Okay, so let's teach the football fans something. What does that mean? If he's eating up zone coverage, what does that, if they were able to beat him with zone last year, what did that mean for the Eagles? And now that he can beat that, what does it mean?
Yeah, so when you talk about zone coverage, it's all about your eyes. Your eyes have to be in the right place. If you're playing DB, you got to make sure your eyes are in the right place when you're watching the offense. So Jalen has improved his eyes where they need to be on every given play. And you'll see it right here. He's scanning the entire field. He's making sure he's throwing checkdowns. He's hitting A.J. Brown across the middle. And I just thought he did a great job last night of using his eyes to move defenders as well. Here, he's reading quarters coverage, right? They run the outbreak. Both guys jump it. He hits the post over the top. It's those simple things. And when the plays are there, Jalen Hurts is hitting them consistently this year when he wasn't last year.
It's beating zone is particularly important for a quarterback like Jalen Hurts because the point that Robert was making about their eyes, when they're in zone, everyone's eyes is on the quarterback.
Sure.
You can't really have big breakaway runs like that. So if you stink against zone as a passer, and that takes away his running ability also.
Yes.
So when they play man against him, then he might have one guy in front of him that he has to beat if he decides to tuck it around, or none. So if you can't play zone against him or you can't play man against him, you're going to have to blitz him, which opens you up to big plays.
The reason is when they're playing man, their backs go with the receiver.
Right.
So they're not watching the quarterback anymore. So if he pulls it down, what we saw last night on the 3rd and 2, he goes for 20 and scores a touchdown, right? Everybody turns their back. There I go.
So that's what you watch for as you watch the Eagles going forward in their season. Let's have a moment on the other side, because we can make fun of Dominique all we want, and Lord knows I'm here for that. But I was with him. Like, I was all in on the Vikings, their new coach, this explosive offense, and everything else what they did to Green Bay last week. Last night was a real reality check, wasn't it? What do we say about the Vikings on this morning?
It's different. 1 week really isn't enough to tell us what's going on. 2 isn't either, honestly. But I thought the game last night was fascinating because both teams look so good, and you're looking for NFC contenders, right? Because it seems thinner than the other conference. So, like, which one's going to look, well, it was clearly answered. Which one is better right now? So in terms of Minnesota, look, it's a new coaching staff. They learn a new defense, new offense, all like that. They look fantastic week 1. There's probably going to be ups and downs. They still
enough to go around. I will say this about Minnesota. I expected them to do more to harass Jalen Hurts. The Eagles offensive line did a thing because they got after Green Bay. Man, they were stuck at the line. He had all day sitting in that pocket. I know everything got better, but that was the deciding factor for me because if you're playing from behind and your quarterback's got all day, man, it bodes well for the Eagles.
Yeah, but Greeny, you said it that Darius Slay was probably Kirk Cousins' favorite target last night.
Yeah.
But let's give Slay the honor that he deserves.
Absolutely.
He shut down Justin Jefferson. He's been this guy for years. He always follows a team's best receiver, and he should have had 4 interceptions last night. He dropped a couple of them, but he played his tail off, and I think we got to give him his due.
He had 2 in total. Cousins threw 3. That's been a question there in Minnesota for a long time. Do they need an upgrade to the quarterback position? People are going to wake up today thinking the answer, at least for the moment, feels like yes. In the meantime, so the Eagles make their statement. How about the Bills last night? 2 games down. The Bills might be exceeding the impossibly high expectations we had for them this year. If you haven't seen it, you need to see what they did last night. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, Mitch Trubisky struggled mightily. The coach talked yesterday